No one is illegal on stolen land. And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And I say sorry. Thank you.
Bro, I had a major brain alert. Major. Check this shit out. Can somebody please explain why there are so many photos of white people coming in on boats? Specifically, coming here to America on boats. Coming here to America on boats in the 1800s. But I can't find no photos of so-called black people coming here on boats to America. Because according to their history, the last slave ship came here in 1858. Now here's where it get real interesting for me. So my 4 times great-grandmother, Delia Corsi, born around 1820, has an actual photo. And she still look young. So I'm guessing maybe this is 1845? Maybe 1850? Where the boat?
Right? Okay. So there is a ship called the Bad Waida, which means Judah, because remember we're transferring words from Arabic to French, and that in itself, there's a connection to French and to African languages of today. So this ship collected all these people and carried them from Waida, Judah, down to what you would call is the namesake, which is Ouida, which is with a O. Ouida being the point of no return. Yeah. And then from there, we can speak about the Yoruban Revolutionary War. This incident, let's call it that, was where modern day Africans argued about, sorry, I forgot to mention there were slave farms there. So all of this crying over Africans who were sent on ships, they weren't actually from modern day Africa. You took them from Eurasia, put them on these boats out, right? But anyway, so as I was saying, they, what was I saying? Let me pause it. So this was a hierarchical thing, like a hereditary thing, and they argued about who should be in line to be partaking in the slaving of these very people, right? And the Yorubans, they lost. So they got dashed in with these blacks, Caribbeans, Indians, Berbers, Libyans, the ancient ones, Eurasians of today. And remember, there were Nigerian Lascars, which are people that are on ships, ferrying people all over the place, okay? So also, before Ghana, there was Old Ghana. Before Old Ghana, there was Songhai. And the people there were also of the same descent. So when you're talking on these subjects, you forget to mention these people. You're not talking about slavery at all. And at this point now in my growth, I'm not turning down, because these people are wearing wigs in the style of the people that they're laughing at. They are using the spirituality of the people that they're laughing at. And the people who are being laughed at, who I'm trying to show you who you are, you're offended by what I'm saying. When you say you're a Jamaican, and that West Indian comment, what is a West Indian? I'll show you. It says West Indian is not a race or ethnicity. You were from India and the west of it until they put you in the ships and took you out. Oh, that was the final point. On the Bad Waida Galley, to a place in America where there was a museum called Waida. Okay then.
Lezu, the Moorish Empire ruled for 711 years of dominance. The Moors were looking to replicate New Egypt globally. They started to procreate with the Slavs, which were trafficked women bought by to them as concubines. They ended up having bastard children with them, which was forbidden in the Brotherhood. They believed the purity of the blood could maintain the reincarnation of the ascended masters. As this practice of blood mixing spread all over Europe, many of these barons had fractioned territorial leadership in houses just like Game of Thrones has shown. Many of them didn't bear any sons within their marriage, so they used their bastard sons they had with the Slavs to pass down the leadership. As this practice became more popular, many of these new barons' houses choose their mother's side instead, due to the harsh treatment of the Moors. It was practice such as this that gave birth to Vlad the Impaler, or Vlad Dracula. His goal was to wage war against his Moorish ancestors to be kicked out of Europe. He was once held captive by the Ottoman Empire. This is where he learned the secret about the blood, and after he became free, the Crusades' war had begun, and he joined alliances against the Ottomans. Every kill within the war, he began to drink the enemy's blood because of what he learned. He believed he could harness the soul of these soldiers and bear of their secrets. As they show you in Dracula movies, the dead adversaries are always hung up on sticks as a ritualistic symbol of the crucifixion of the Christic blood. After the Crusades' war was won, the church became the vector, the leader of the new world in the Dracula order. Vampirism was introduced in the secret walls of the church. As their new colonial era begins, the descendants of the Moors, consisting mostly of a mulatto class and Caucasians as the ruling class, they wanted to finish the job of their Moorish fathers for global domination to conquer the new world. They ventured out to the Old East, in modern day, the New West.
See, people like me have been telling you that myths doesn't mean it's not true. The issue is that the issues were never ours. They belong to a small group of people and we keep fighting their battles. For what exactly? See, it's easier to tell yourself that we're not responsible in making things change, but we are actually complicit in a lot of the things that are going on. I saw a video of this cute little blonde kid the other day, and he was talking about his parents taking him to these events where they kick him up. They kick him in the privates, they push him around, his teacher too. And we say, oh, this is so bad. And then we just go back to eating our cereal. And I understand the attitude of being separate from each other. I get it. But it's one of the ploys they've been using for a long time. And I've always said to you, because I'm mixed with everything, everybody's in my family. For me, it's more about character. And why do we pretend that we don't have bad people that look like us or in our family or in our neighborhoods or in our little communities or in our little church groups? Why do we pretend that people can look just like you, but it doesn't mean that they're decent, it doesn't mean their soul's good? I am very aware some people don't like the things that I say, but at the end you'll see a video that was over 2 years old where I said a lot of things that pertaining to this video right now. And the situation socially, publicly with celebrities right now, and people just thought I was chatting was. At the end of the day, we are responsible for this world that we live in, and instead we're caught up in all the isms and schisms and prejudices.
I want you to answer that simple question. Do you have the same cognitive ability as us white people on average? Are the mean IQ scores going to be exactly the same, or is there going to be some difference?
How much milk and sugars did you put in your coffee?
Why is it that in World War II, all the colored people were fighting with Hitler? You ever ponder that weird little question?
Oh, shit! You think the fucking head are white supremacists? What about the Italians? They're not white. What the hell? Isn't that weird? That all the colored people are fighting with Hitler. Colored people. The people of color. And isn't that another weird term? I am a hateful man. That's right. Yes, I hate a lot. And it feels good. I love opening my heart and letting all the hate out.
Anyways, I don't like to leave the bag in. You know what I mean? Because if I leave the bag in for too long,
It comes out bitter.
kind of like you.
Well, come to find out that gold trump card is a memento. It's not a Visa. Yeah, it's not a Visa. Oh, God, did I laugh for 30 minutes. So Donald Trump literally played your Nicki! Can you believe this, guys? Now, Nicki Minaj is on her House Negro tour, and she's been doing all of this weird behavior, I guess, because she has a plan. Because she illegally came to America. She's from Trinidad, and I think a lot of Trinidadians have to be embarrassed by her behavior. And she got her gold card, the Trump gold card. She bragged about it. She even showed it, and that's what this whole plan has been, I guess. And she even said, I love Trump, I'm a fan of Trump, and this is real. I care what anybody says. I love Trump. I think he's one of the most handsome men ever. Yeah. How do you feel, Nicki? How do you feel? You're still illegal.
Trump's like, I can't believe it. Nicki Minaj, she thought it was a visa. I really appreciate you. But I love house Negroes. I love house Negroes because house Negroes are very pretty. I love house Negroes, because you snitch on your own people, You're in the house, but you snitch on your people, but we still don't have any respect for you. I'm gonna call you Nicki Mirage. You saw a mirage. You were saying things, Nicki. The Barbs are gonna be very disappointed, the Barbs. The only Barb you're gonna see is Wire, because we're gonna lock you up in a cage. Oh, isn't that fantastic? Can you believe it? I tricked her. Can you believe it?
Billy Porter on how he feels about Nicki Minaj. Check this out.
Her. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And all of them.
All you have to do is leave it up to Billy Porter to let you know what the deal is. And we all know Billy Porter, the multi-talented Billy Porter, who doesn't hold back on how he expresses it. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot that we don't understand, And the thing is, if Nicki is a sellout, she's a house slave, then what are we? See, you don't really look at the small print. Why were the Maroons running? What is it that you cannot see? Here's the thing. What can we really do about who we are at this point? Nothing. But if it is, if our identity or loyalty is based upon the God that we serve, I suggest you go and read Isaiah 18, particularly verse 5 to 7 verses, and I'd go for the good news version. We take sides, but what are we siding about? Who is it benefiting? And how long are we going to keep this up?
Stephen is the freest slave in the history of cinema. He has all the powers of the master and literally is the master during the times when Calvin is off Mandingo fighting. He makes the plantation run. Everybody on that plantation knows him. Everybody on the plantation fears him. And I wanted everybody to understand that when Django shows up, that's a we've never seen before. Not only is he on a horse, he got a gun, and he speaks out. And the first thing I have to do is let all the other on the plantation know that's not something you can aspire to. So let me put him in his place as quickly as I possibly can. Stephen is...
Isn't that what you be doing to me?
BAAL.
Okay, so everything's out of question. There's no more questioning this shit anymore?
No, because if people don't know who Ball is, there is a file in there that says he has a bank account, Epstein. And this particular bank account says Ball. BAAL.
Okay, so everything's out of question. There's no more questioning this shit anymore?
No, because if people don't know who Ball is a deity that they worship. If you look into demonology, Ball, historically, in the Canaanite time, this deity was the god of storms and rain and fertility. And then if you look into later historical texts, it is a deity to where it involves child sacrifice.
Okay.
Baal was a title which translates literally to owner, lord, god of whatever they're pertaining to, but essentially loosely says owner or lord.
Naysayers, or are they, where y'all at?
So why would Epstein have an account? Literally, I checked it myself. So if you go to justice.gov/Epstein, type Baal in, it's in the files, and he has an account and it says Baal. It's crazy.
Come on. Okay. So he has a bank account named Baal. I mean, that's kind of just like grand opening, grand closing. There's no...
Why would you name your account that? For what reason? Because that's worship, right? You're acknowledging this deity. Because think about this. The devil is the Lord and the God of what? Of the earth. This is in the Bible. He runs the earth, right? Now we're talking about physical things. Physical, time, money. Wouldn't the devil be the God of money? In the files, he has a 2-hour interview with Steve Bannon. And in that interview, he he asked Epstein, hey, are you the devil?
Well, he asked him that?
It's in their interview. We were just watching it. He says, hey, are you the devil? Or like, what do you believe about spirits and the soul?
No. It's one thing saying, what do you believe in? It's one thing asking somebody, are you the devil? That's two different things.
Yeah. And he goes, well, I don't know. I have a great mirror though. And he's like, well, no, I'm serious. He's like, no, this is a serious question. And he goes, are you the devil? Or like, do you see yourself like a devil? He's like, well, why would you ask that? And then he goes into it, but he doesn't really answer the question. He kind of just brushes it off.
How do you brush some shit like that off?
Because you are the devil. Why is Robert Maxwell's company, Pergamon Press, the textbook company that basically after 1946, he was in charge of all the scholastic textbooks for kids.
That's a fact. Look it up.
Pergamon is named one of the 7 churches in the Bible referred to as the Temple of Satan.
Wait, that's Ghislaine Maxwell's dad's fucking...
Yes.
That's the name of the company?
Correct. Now, there's a temple, okay? Correlated with Pergamon, which is the temple of Zeus. Actually, Zeus is the devil. If you look at ancient texts, they're actually worshiping Zeus. He's actually the devil. So that's why they call that the synagogue or the temple of Satan. It's one of the 7 churches mentioned in the Bible.
Oh, shit.
Look this up.
And he named his company
And why would he name his company that? He
Honestly,
knows.
they're literally playing in our faces for real. And they're just like, okay.
It's all in there.
It's in your face.
How on earth? And somebody asked me as well. We were talking. She reminded me we were talking on Instagram, a white woman, and she speaks on my man. He they say killed himself in pain, but really he's disappeared.
The one that was missing the children.
What's his name again? That went to jail
Yeah,
with the woman, and she
got.
got given time recently. But this woman I was talking to on Instagram, she was part of that era. She was young. She was around aristocrats.
Weinstein.
No,
No.
the one that was in prison, and they said he died. We tried to kill himself, but we all think he escaped. He's probably Epstein.
Why am I saying Weinstein?
Well,
he's another one though. That messes with kids.
Yeah. That's who I'm talking about. This woman I was speaking to, a family stopped talking to her because she's exposed a lot of these rich aristocrats.
It tells us that here in the Ben Hinnom Valley is where the Jews would go to do the one thing which was the most horrendous and the most embarrassing thing that some of the Jews were doing in those times, which is to worship the Canaanite god Molech. Because if you're up in the city of Jerusalem, you can see down to the very edge of this valley, but if you go a little bit further down the valley, no one can see what you do here. So if someone wanted to do something horrendous and they didn't want anyone to know, they would come here to do it. And so the Bible tells us that here there was a pagan temple, what's called in Hebrew Tophet, which is a temple to Molech, the Canaanite god Molech. And the Canaanite god Molech is a god that people would sacrifice their children to. It's spoken about in a few places in the Bible that God says you shall not pass your children in fire for Molech like the Canaanites do. It's also in the book of Kings.